The Black Room, Chapter 4, The Unwritten Laws of an Anomaly. Law number 1, stop giving a fuck. When I say stop giving a fuck, I'm not just saying stop caring about what people say or how they perceive you or treat you, but I'm talking about stop internalizing your losses, your failures, your weaknesses, and just boss up. Hold your head high, stick your chest out, and bury your head so deep into what it is you are doing, nothing else matters. Law 1A. Stop caring about people more than you care about yourself. Most people will slave 80 hours at a job just to spend their entire check trying to impress people who are truly not paying attention to them in the first place. They will buy clothes they know they don't need. They will go out to eat knowing damn well they can't afford a tip. They will go out and get a car requiring a $400 car note and a $300 insurance policy per month for the next 3 years. They will allow society to guilt them into going on $800 shopping sprees every Christmas for kids who complain about doing the dishes after you've slaved in that hot-ass kitchen for 4 hours straight. Pressure. 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 There is pressure to spend your money on shit that doesn't serve you in order to make you feel good about yourself. It gives you the temporary comfort that things aren't that bad as long as your father, who always said you weren't enough, sees you stunting on him a few times out the year on 4th of July weekend and Easter Sunday. Stop it. You have to stop caring about what other people think, especially when it comes to what you have. You have to make a choice. Do you spend the money on things that don't serve your dreams to impress people who will never like you no matter how much you accumulate, or will you invest that same amount of money into your business idea while looking bummy every day, eating sardines every day until the risks you take start to blossom into $1 million business? Who are you serving? Who are you trying to feed? Your ego or your kids? Stop focusing on what you think you want or on what makes you feel good, and focus on what you know actually brings you value. One of the things I did to get to where I am was live a very frugal life. Instead of taking my checks to buy clothes, I went out, bought physical copies of my books, and sold them on military posts around Colorado Springs. Instead of getting the car of my dreams, I bought a hybrid Prius that was only $15 to fill up and would be my Uber ride-or-die vehicle until I could afford another car. I bought that car in 2016, got into 2 accidents with it, not going to lie, the bumper hanging on for dear life, and I still drive that car today. I bought tickets to get into exclusive networking events. I drove from Cleveland to Tampa with 3 kids and a mother requiring 24-hour care just to have an opportunity to work with Derek. I was able to do things people working 80-hour weeks couldn't do because I didn't have that many bills. I always had a few dollars saved up and I wasn't attached to the money. I didn't walk in the mall and yearn to have the latest Nike shoes. I didn't care. I wasn't emotionally attached. I didn't hate my life walking around like I was a have-not. Because as long as I had my computer and some apps on my phone, I felt like I had it all. And that goes a long way mentally. People will go into a straight depression when they can't have something, or they will go into a straight depression when they can't pay their luxury car note. I love spending my money because I only spend it on things that matter. I never had a heavy heart investing in something because I knew that money was coming back to me tenfold. It was coming back in the form of more money or more opportunity. And to be honest, I was more turned on by the opportunities. And boy, did the opportunities come. When I took the $400 and bought books to sell at my book signings, I was able to meet principals at schools and get my book into the district. I was able to meet company CEOs who wanted me to speak at their student conference. I was able to fly to Atlanta to meet CJ, Eric Thomas's Brain Trust, and outline a book for them. No, I didn't dress like everyone else, but when I opened my mouth, I opened up their mind. I could carry on a conversation with them because I'd invested in books. I was able to learn what they needed and keep up with their business aspirations because I'd spent months on YouTube podcasts instead of spending months window shopping at the mall. I spent every penny on opportunity, and every penny that I spent investing in myself, it was telling my brain how much I truly believed in myself. I was telling my brain exactly what I valued. You see, if every penny you get, you spend on shoes and clothes, that is what your brain will believe you value. It will be all you aim for, and it will block out anything else that doesn't correlate with that value. You could be talking to a billionaire in the shoe store about shoes and not pick up on the fact that he's a billionaire, because your value system is so wrapped up in shoes and material things, your brain won't pick up on his mannerisms or pique your interest when he uses certain words. You can tell your brain all you want that you love business and you want to become an entrepreneur, but until you start to put action towards what you value, your brain will not believe you and will not act on it. Use your brain to manipulate your actions. When your brain is on one accord with your dream, when your brain believes you want something, it uses all of your energy and resources to get you there. You need confidence in doing what you're trying to do. Feed action to your brain. When you first start going to the gym, it's hard and your brain knows this. However, the more you go to the gym, the more your brain will say, okay, this is very important to her. Let's hone in on this and find ways to make this easier for her. Let's tell her brain she needs more water. Let's focus on relaxing the muscles after every set. Oh, wow. When she looks in the mirror every 5 minutes, she must truly be feeling herself. Let's start pumping that dopamine so she can get more and more of that feeling. Let's remind her when she doesn't want to get out of bed what it feels like to look in the mirror. Let's push her. Let's support her. So it goes from you pushing yourself and finding it hard to work out to now your body is doing things automatically to make things easier. It went from being hard to work out to now you don't even think to do 40 minutes at the gym because it's so easy and seamless until you decide to take it to the next level. Tell your brain what you value by showing it and by continuously showing up. It's so much easier to flow when your energy already knows where to go. Same thing with Derek. When I first met him, he didn't have an ounce of jewelry to his name. He didn't have a car, and he lived in a small 3-bedroom home tucked away in some urban, suburban neighborhood cul-de-sac. But you know what he did have? He had time. He had clarity. He had confidence because instead of pouring his confidence into clothes, he spent his money on books and venues, filling it up with people who confirmed he was who he said he was. Are y'all getting the picture? Again, what are you willing to sacrifice to buy your time back? Even if you have a job, you don't work 24/7. And if you do work 24/7, why isn't that money getting you to where you want to go? What are you doing with that money? What are you doing with the time you have when you are not working? Most people work 8 hours a day. What happened to the other 16? Oh, you're tired. Well, are you tired because you are not eating right? Are you exhausted because you keep drowning your heart with coffee in the morning and Red Bull at night? You are like a machine. You have to take care of yourself. You have to exercise to get energy. Take the time to prep your meals for the week and make sure you learn what foods fuel your body in ways that will feed your goals. Stop caring so much about the results. One of my superpowers is the fact that I move fast on ideas. When I have an idea about a book, I don't outline it. I don't sit on it and allow ideas to ponder. I sit my butt down and I write for hours and hours at a time every single day until the story comes out however it should. I don't think about grammar. I don't think about if what I'm saying is right, or if someone is going to get mad about me speaking my truths. I write it out freely and unapologetically. I do the same thing when I post. I am a creative. I am an artist with everything that I do. I don't have time to let anything get in the way of my flow. So many people get a brilliant idea that starts off being light and delicate, and then they weigh it down with doubt and overthinking. I never had time for that. You don't have time to obsess over the process or how you're going to get there. When you're moving fast, you don't have time to think too deeply about if it's going to work or not. You just go. There is no attachment to the result. I either believe in it or I don't. I either decide to go all in or leave it all on the table. A lot of people get so stuck on the future, having to plan out every single thing, checking every dotted I and crossing every T to make sure the result is perfect, but it only makes you lose momentum, drive, and allows for outside influences to seep in and take over. Every campaign was fun for me and Derek. We knew that even if the plan went bad, we could always pivot. Nothing ever truly failed in our eyes. If it worked, cool. If not, we learned more about the needs of the people and were able to carry that on to the next campaign, or the loss would spark another idea we could run with, making the idea even bigger and better the next time around. There was no time to be emotional. Keeping a level head and truly moving as if there were only lessons to collect along the way helped us scale fast. Mistakes only made us sharper and helped us identify the weaknesses and weak links within the company. We also planned so far ahead that we didn't have time to attach ourselves to the results. Everything was a stepping stone to the bigger picture. Everything was about using the points we were able to collect and get to the next level. We never sat too long on a win or a loss. It was like going to war. We laid out a detailed plan, down to the verbiage, down to the flyers, emails, how many emails, holiday deals, and bundles were getting created months before the actual holiday, and we ran with it. We stashed different bundles away for moments of opportunity, like the gun training bundle for school shootings, or homeschool bundle for back to school, or the farming bundle for food shortages. We always had it planned out and were always ready to execute at will. I remember when I made a mistake and put Derek's real home address on thousands of packages. I'm talking about thousands of pre-labels that cost thousands of dollars for shipping. Thankfully, I caught it before they were shipped out, and probably some did get shipped out, but we didn't harbor over the mistake. We lost a lot of money having to reprint labels, and it set us back a week or two, but we didn't spend too much time complaining about it. We fixed the problem, and we moved on. Nobody tried to make me feel bad for the mistake, so my energy never shifted, my confidence never faltered. I was just as ready to work and excited about getting shit done as any other day after the mistake. You have to learn how to let go of things and emotions that don't serve you, but it's not even just about letting go. It's about being grateful you're on the ride to begin with. It's about being as logical as possible and holding space for emotions at the right place and at the right time. When we stepped into the black room, we didn't care about anything that was happening in the outside world. We didn't talk about how our partners got on our nerves the night before, how our teenager was sneaking out the house at night, or how someone on Instagram called us a scammer. We didn't give a fuck. We minded our own business. And for some of you, this is the one concept that you need to live and die by. In the black room, nothing else mattered but execution. We executed on our ideas. We stayed focused, and we never walked in with energy that didn't serve the ultimate goal. You know, like when you're on a job you're afraid to lose. It's like you walk in the door with a smile on your face, even though you just got your ass whipped by your baby daddy and the kids the night before. You can walk in with a full black eye and not say shit about what happened. You could have just spent hours in your car crying. But when you pick up that phone and address that customer, your attitude is in check, your voice is on point, high-pitched and cheerful, so that you can sell whatever it is you need to sell. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to minding the business that pays you. We get so busy getting caught up in drama, mostly other people's drama, that by the time we get to what it is we want to do, we are too exhausted. We can't think. We can't move. And we're depressed. Let that shit go. Don't bring that drama in the black room. You better act like that shit doesn't exist, because it doesn't, because it can't. Our goals are too important to care about something we can't even control. The vision is too massive to get all foggy and messy. If your number one complaint is time and energy, work on eating better, feeding your mind with thoughts that make you feel lighter. 9 times out of 10, it's not the job. 9 times out of 10, it's not the kids. It's the weight you took upon yourself to carry, yours and everyone else that you care about. The black room will craft you into the person you've always dreamed of becoming, if you allow it. If you free yourself and your mind and open yourself up to your rawest truths and deepest pain. It seems that those who are most aware and vulnerable are those who are attracted to the black room the most. It seems that the ones who are the most authentic and honest with themselves are the ones the black room crafts into success and fame. Law number 2. Stand out and be unforgettable. Be someone people can't forget. Now, when we talk about memories and being unforgettable, this can be such a broad statement. You can be memorable because of the way you talk, the way you tell stories, your attitude, your unspoken vibe, what you wear, the style in which you edit your videos, down to your haircut. There are so many ways to be memorable to someone. Your job is to tap into what makes you unique, what's fun and authentic to you, and what's something you can be confident in and go in on that thing. Derek will always be memorable for being the first young black father to put a loaded gun in his 3-year-old daughter's hands. That's memorable. He also was one of the first to tattoo his entire face. That's memorable. I'm a writer. One of the dopest writers of all time. So when people read my books and feel like they are walking in my characters' shoes, I make them cry. I make them laugh. I make them feel so deeply they can't sleep at night. Yeah, that's memorable. Think about the saying. People might forget what you said and even forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And that's the key. Make people feel by connecting so deeply to who you are. You're able to express yourself through your dress, through your words, and through your hairstyle that you become unforgettable. Being unique, doing something different, and just having fun with yourself can definitely take you further than commercially edited picture-perfect content that looks like it came from the same Fiverr gig everyone else is purchasing. If you don't know what Fiverr is, definitely check it out. But seriously, it goes back to discovering who you are and what makes you beautiful, confident, and what motivates you to be consistent. Law number 3, execute at a high level in the black room. You are not in the black room to play. You are in the black room to execute. Something that made us pretty unfuckwittable is the fact that our production rate was unheard of. We'd have an idea in the morning and have it up and running by midnight. Thanks to the brain trust, the sapio, aka me, I love to learn. So I had a mental library of how-tos from apps to automation and could easily figure out how to put some shit out fast and effectively. And if I didn't know how, I'd take myself on Fiverr and pay someone to teach me. I'd stay up all night watching YouTube videos until I got it, or just simply try it. Trial and erroring it until something shakes. We moved fast with everything that we did. We didn't wait on approval from the market. We didn't wait until it was perfect. We set a hard deadline, which most of the time was unrealistic, and we moved on it. We moved with confidence. When it came to speed of execution, that meant marketing too. We were able to produce a mass amount of content like no one else. Derek would create 20 to 30 videos of himself just talking his shit. They would all be different. They would all grab your attention. They would all have some sort of purpose, meaning, and hard-hitting call to action behind them, and people would pay attention. We changed locations when it made sense. He changed his clothes so he would look different. His hairstyle, different angles as in headshot, full body, chest up, him walking, sitting, pointing a gun in the camera, him slowly lifting his heavy Cuban links, his children playing right beside him. There was always something different. His photo shoots were just as consistent. He made sure they had a theme, and we did them quarterly. A theme that went with the upcoming campaign. If we were selling a family pack, then he would be taking photo shoots of his family. If he was selling the gun training, then he took pictures with guns. Everything moved fast. Derek always had people around him who would drop everything to help him get something done no matter the timeline. That's just how things worked, so getting things done and giving people impossible deadlines pushed everyone to move differently, fast, and with great perfection. Now, I would be lying if I said that shit was healthy or even right, because it wasn't. But it was a part of the game, and it was also the reason why the competition couldn't keep up. By the time they'd catch up to what we were doing, we had already sucked the well dry and were moving on to the next one. What makes complete strangers want to move for your vision? Belief in yourself is what draws people to you. Again, most people want to get on someone's bandwagon because they can't seem to get themselves going. They will start and quit and start and come up with excuses, So while you're seeing someone else passing you up, sometimes it's just easier to jump on their coattail and go along for the ride. So, if you have a vision that you believe in, like I said earlier, your passion will draw people to it, especially if you're clear about where you are going. People just want to go somewhere. And on top of that, people want to live through other people's dreams and achievements, and it's much easier to do that when you jump on someone's bandwagon. So, think about that the next time you're trying to get someone to support you, help you, or believe in your movement. You have to be the one to push it first, lead by example, and then they will follow. The more hype you get, the more excited they will be to help you get there. Law number 4. The money you make in the black room, reinvest it. We're going to end with one of the most slept-on strategies of today's social media marketing. To this day, I don't see many people taking advantage of it, like really dropping stacks on it, so it's something I must touch on. Now, we didn't do this every day or anything, but we did have seasons where it was a part of our routine, but when we did do it, it always took us to the next level. Now, Derek had this sixth sense. He could tell when the world was shifting. For example, when he'd noticed that Donald Trump was the most hated man in America, he took the opportunity to use it to his advantage. When there were school shootings, he felt the wave of sorrow and disbelief and turned it into empowerment. Now, at the time, he wasn't even close to the 1 million followers he has now. He'd maybe had about 300,000 if that. But, you know who did have the world's attention at the time? Do you know who was killing it with engagement and exposure with millions of views just off of sharing nightclub fights and others' people's content before it became a thing? WorldStar. Derek had a good relationship with WorldStar, so when emotions were thick in the air about gun violence and the presidency, we would connect with WorldStar and drop about 3,000 stacks for just one post for just a few hours. Derek knew his audience so well that he'd tell WorldStar the exact time, Thursday at 9 p.m. He'd send the money and they would post his viral clip. He may have dropped $3,000 for a few hours, but within those few hours, we'd get thousands of followers and make a good $10,000 off of the post itself. Now, once again, it was like it had to be perfect timing. We were hoarders of content, making content every single day. Camera in front of Derek's face, me behind the scenes, asking him questions that would further trigger people's pain points, and before the night was over, we had more content in a day than people had in a month. Literally. So when the opportunity to strike with a bomb, is what we'd call it, something we knew would shake up the world, we already had it fully loaded in the chamber. It had come to the point to where we were cutting deals with WorldStar, like we need 4 posts, 1 a week, and we need a discount. I'm talking about $15,000 at a time to promote the page and get to the money. Now remember, this was early on. We were still in the 3-bedroom house, sitting in the black room with fans blowing from every direction, dusty walls, and stained whiteboards. It was the sacrifice that many wouldn't take on themselves. It was the fact that we just knew shit was going to blow. It was just a matter of time. Since we're on the subject of investments, it was still the year of 2018 or around there. Things were moving fast, money was growing, and Derek was working on the concept of the board game. One day, he gives me a call. Khadijah. Yeah. I just bought a gold chain. I was shocked because Derek wasn't into gold chains. How much was it? I asked as if I was a worried wife. 15 G's. Now, me being Miss Frugal, Miss Cheap, wearing the same set of outfits for 10 years, in my mind I was like, yeah, that's crazy. Why would you do that? To me, it was a waste of money. Okay, I said. He could hear the hesitation in my voice. Khadijah, this is about to change the game for us, I promise. This is it. Watch. They are going to see me with this, and watch the sales come in. I was so nervous about his decision because, again, we were making around $3,000 to $4,000 a day, but he was also on tour. He also had to pay for marketing and this board game idea he had. I called CJ, someone I'd only call when I truly needed some guidance. He answered, I just need a few moments of your time. So, Derek just bought this chain for $15,000, and I don't really think it's a good idea. Did you tell him? No. Okay, well, you can't be scared to tell him how you feel. You can't be afraid of him. That's not how this works. If you want to guide him, then you have to speak up. Okay, I said, and we hung up. I called Derek back and told him I didn't think it was a great idea. Nah, Khadijah, this the one. And he was right. That one chain coated in diamonds saying unlearn and relearn was truly the start of the greatest investment when it came to gaining exposure he could have ever made. We no longer needed World Star. We no longer needed to post 10 times a day to make $5,000, even though we never stopped. We weren't so much reliant on it. That one investment brought the daily goal from $5,000 to $15,000 plus in a day. Exposure is so important, and no one size fits all. You have to find your way. You have to make sure you are aligned with what it is your audience wants. Take chances, but also be smart. The very last play I'm going to give you is documentaries. I don't think people know the impact having a documentary out can have. Before I had met Derek, he had already had a documentary. Not only did the BBC come and do one on him, but he had one of his own. He'd invested in it, and it got millions of views. Now, what is so special about producing a documentary? Well, if you do it right, creating the script based on pain points, you can create a connection no Instagram post can create. It's a different kind of audience. It's a more loyal audience. People on YouTube have more time, and since the content doesn't disappear the more you post, it's a timeless piece of content that people can come and truly get to know you and your life. People want to know who you are as a person. They want to connect with you. So, the next time you think about dropping your tax return on a new car, think about exposure. Think about investing in you. Think about all of the ways you can get the attention of your audience with just a few $100s. Betting on yourself is the best investment you can ever make. Those are some of the unwritten laws of the Black Room that really helped us stand out. It's not always the most complex concepts, but it's the concepts that you work so consistently, you don't have no choice but to dominate the arena you're in. It's like what Bruce Lee said, "I fear not the man who practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who practiced one kick 10,000 times." The Black Room will craft you into the person you've always dreamed of becoming if you allow it. If you free yourself and your mind, and open yourself up to your rawest truths and deepest pain. It seems that those who are most aware and vulnerable are those who are attracted to the Black Room the most. It seems that the ones who are the most authentic and honest with themselves are the ones the Black Room crafts into success and fame. The number one question I am asked and was asked while working with Derek was, how did I get to the Black Room? Who was I before the Black Room? What was it like working with the tattooed mentor? It was like a match made in heaven where two like minds meet and recognize each other's genius. It was two people crafting their own Black Rooms, cultivating their own separate skills within them, and then coming to the light to make some magical shit happen. Let me take you back, all the way back to the beginning.